It's
I
just
know
grass.
the yard that Mike is there is weird because of that walkway. Because it goes up on that weird angle coming around, dude.
Yeah.
I thought they would let a path through there.
For a horse and carriage. That one, there's a thing, but not for the town to use it, it's for Artelli to use it. For a horse and carriage
You know, the other
pathway.
opposite side of, St. Clair Muse side? The wide one? The alley?
Are we on
Yeah.
live?
Not yet, I'm
Not yet, okay.
waiting to get the nod
Just
to.
asking, okay.
I guess we'll discuss it when it comes up.
Yeah, so it's on the Cindy Wilson side.
Yeah. Well, I always thought they were there in place already. As long as I can remember.
See, and that's where,
That's going back 30 years.
and that's what, like, she
Not
was,
back to horse and carriage.
yeah. Did it freeze on you?
Seems to have solved.
Can you stop it and try to start again? Same spot where it stopped.
Yeah.
I don't know if this applies to you, but I know I have to shut down everything every so often.
Oh, this computer was shut down, so.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
We came in.
Actually, let's find out.
Still loading.
And there's two of them that are showing up now on the YouTube
Ooh.
page.
Uh-oh.
And you can probably hear us in the background trying to figure this out. But it's stalling out again.
But if there are two of them up, right? Would be a problem.
No, there'll be like 3-second
Yeah.
videos.
Well, it's this one's 3 minutes.
3 minutes of us talking in the background, trying to get this to load.
This one's only 1 minute 57 seconds.
We can delete those.
Yeah,
It's not done.
I was just wondering if it was, but it's not doing, I don't even hear anything.
I just proceed.
Yeah.
Without YouTube?
I'm not changing them, being on YouTube.
Yep.
You can try to work in the background if you want.
Yeah, I'll work on that.
I will read this up just in case we go live stream. Live streaming of council meetings. Today's meeting is hopefully being streamed live on the Town of Annapolis Royal YouTube channel. To those present in the gallery today, by attending a public meeting of council, you are consenting to having your image, voice, and comments recorded. Anyone who is invited to speak will be recorded, and their voice, image, and comments will form part of the live stream. The chair and or CAO have the discretion and authority at any time to direct the termination or interruption of live streaming. Such direction will only be given in the exceptional circumstances when deemed relevant. So I'm going to call to order the committee of the whole for May the 3rd, 2023 at 6:05. I would like to acknowledge that we are in Mi'kma'ki, the traditional territory of the Mi'kma'ki people. Present is Mayor Angry Boyer, Councillor Tompkins, Councillor Holly Sanford's on live stream, and regret would be Councillor Paula Hafting. Additions to the agenda.
So I have some changes to the agenda. So unfortunately, Director of Finance Melanie Robinson is sick today. So we will put the quarterly reports on the council agenda and hopefully she'll feel better soon. I'd like to add an update on the small title project under presentations. Under new business, I would like to add under 9.2, the MPS strategy amendments public meeting date. Under 9.3, ratification of electronic vote for the water pumps. And that's everything I have.
Did the pathway agreement go down for item 1?
Well, that was already on the agenda.
It was on from people.
Okay, any others? Amy, you have any?
No.
Holly?
That was it.
No,
Okay. Approval of the agenda with the amendments.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Approval of the committee of the whole minutes of April the 12th, 2023. Any changes?
No,
I'll just take a motion on, I guess. Unanimous consent.
Yep.
yeah, okay.
That by unanimous consent.
Yep.
Straight into presentations.
All right.
So Mayor Boyer and Bill Crosman is here.
Okay.
We'll send it over to you.
So we have a document that was sent out to all members of council. I'm not sure if it was in the public package. It may not.
No, because it came in late, yeah.
So the purpose of today is to update council on where we are with the small scale community tidal power project. And Bill Crossman is here to answer any questions you may have. So my update will be brief. We're proposing a work plan based on the response we received from FCM for our application for Green Fund Signature Project. So we did receive a response from FCM. They encouraged council to proceed with the project, but said that a more rigorous feasibility study would be required than the one that was submitted. So we have found out since then that there is money from FCM for approximately 50% of eligible costs for this project. So in our work plan, we've said the first thing we need to do is find out who could conduct a feasibility study on the pilot project for a tidal project of this type. We found through references, not direct contact with the companies, that CBCL would be one of the companies capable of doing it. MS Consulting, which is the same firm that was hired by the NSURB in the NSPI case, would be qualified, may not be able to do the project because of ongoing business with NSPI. We have not approached them. Our own consulting firm for the town probably would not be able to do, but could perhaps be approached to obtain an order of magnitude cost. So what we're proposing is, before we approach any potential partners, since council wanted to proceed with the feasibility study, the next question would be, well, who pays for it, including grants, including potential partners. So we need an order of magnitude cost before we approach potential partners. And there are 3 we would approach. So including ourselves, who would be the town of Middleton, the town of Kemple, potentially Bear River First Nation, who we're meeting with in June to see if they're interested. Once we have the order of magnitude costs, the draft expression of interest, and you've received a copy, so the copy is before you. Then we would need to nail down the potential sources of funds with partners, grants, etc. Then we could approach the potential funders, see if the previous funders are still interested. Then we'd issue an expression of interest, provided we had a good idea of where the money would come from, and we'd refer the responses and recommendations to council. So that's basically where we are in terms of work planning. And Bill's here to answer any technical questions you may have, which I cannot answer. So, are there any questions?
So the study, how much do you think the study's gonna cost just to do that?
We don't know. We've
So
never
you're
done
back
it.
to square one, really?
Half of it would be 170,000 max.
Yeah,
So multiply that times 2, and that's the figure, but we're thinking it could be less than that. You know,
yeah,
we don't know, because our original project was 388,000.
yeah.
So,
What
so
about,
we don't really know, which is why we're recommending we do an order of magnitude cost first. To get,
Yeah.
before we go to the market, let's find out what it could cost, and there's 2 companies we could approach for an idea.
and what, you mentioned a few partners, what about reaching back out to the county? Is that an option?
It certainly is, yeah.
You know, because there's
Yeah.
definitely different people at the table now, so.
Yes, we could do that, Holly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that would be smart, if
Did
it comes to that.
Did SEN give guidelines on the rigorous requirements?
Yes, so in the expression of interest draft, we've set out what their requirements were.
Okay.
So that is copied directly from the information we got received from FCM, and to be doubly careful, we can send them the expression of interest just to make sure it's going to cover what they want. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
We can add that to the work plan.
And on the, this is for Bill, I guess, on the technical side, there was a demo, not a demo, but
Okay,
yes, a prototype being sorted out, I guess. Has that gone further? Like, there was some, details in the prototype that you were looking at getting,
We're going to do a pilot project, is that what you were?
no, I think, but the unit itself had to go through, like, not testing, but actually needed to be,
scale up.
yeah,
Yeah, well, that would be part of the pilot project if we're successful with getting a positive result out of the feasibility study. And then if we were successful with the pilot project funding, then the testing, the changes to the prototype and all the testing would be part of the pilot project.
now originally, you guys were doing, like, the plan was to do a number of these units throughout the basin area, because they were smaller units, you didn't have to, they weren't gonna be huge. Is that still the plan?
Well, we were starting with a starting point about a 1 meter diameter turbine.
Okay,
And all the testing so far has been done on a very small scale, just about 9 inches in diameter, very small prototype. We want to bring that up to 1,000
size what?
centimeter.
Okay. So time frame, I guess, would be the amount, any other, you guys have a time frame or what?
So the feasibility study is blocking any movement right now on the project, so we need to get through that.
yeah,
And then the timeline gets pushed out the longer this goes on, so we would have liked to have been doing it this year. But now we'll be pushed out to, they won't make a decision, because as soon as the feasibility study is completed, they say yes or no. And then it's another application to do the pilot that we wanted to do last year. And the only reason we continue to push it is it's our best revenue generation project so far in terms of replacing the money at the causeway. This so far remains to be our best prospect.
Do you need council to make any recommendations to help?
No,
move
it's
the
just to
project
make sure,
forward?
we just wanted to brief you where we are.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
next up is the feasibility study. And you'd asked us to pursue it, so
Yeah.
this is the next
that?
step, yeah. We're trying to get funding for it, and it looks like we have 3 sources of funding outside of the municipal units right now that we could go after.
Yeah. Well, I really hope that you can get through this first step, right?
The first hurdle.
Yeah. It's not easy,
And
but
Bill is still.
good job.
So we'll send something out and see if we can get a costing on what the feasibility study
Order
will
of
cost us.
magnitude,
Yeah, and go from there. We'll just
Okay,
proceed in that direction if council's fine with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
no
Thank
other
you.
comments on that?
No, I'm good.
Okay,
Thanks.
moving forward then. Public input. Bill, did you want to make any public input?
No, I'm fine.
And we're into new and unfinished business. So request for decision agreement for pathway tab 2.
Oh, yeah.
So the RFD was in your application with 3 options. So one option is that the council does not enter into an informal agreement. And we stop, cease using the pathway. So there is the option that people can park in the parking lot behind the cafe and Artelli and use the road that we do have an agreement with the lodge and Sam and Thea.
Yeah.
So we do have 2 agreements for people to exit the property that way. One is that we fix the stairs, repair them, and then hand it back over, so it's a safe option. Or enter into the agreement with them. And then use it as public space. Now, the owners of the property would just like it to be seasonal. Because when they put on the new metal roof, ice and snow falls down there, so.
So.
Can I just make the recommendation and then us talk about it? Or do we want to talk about it first and then?
Well, there's 3 different proposals here. So maybe we should talk about it first and narrow down which one we're gonna recommend.
Okay.
Is
Okay,
that reasonable?
yeah. It is. Go ahead.
So I just have a question on it, like. Have we looked at the other side and making an agreement with the other side?
No.
Because,
Because this person has come to us and asked us
Yeah.
for. To fix, so what happened is the railing is loose, so she wanted us to fix it, and I
Yeah.
said, well. It's not on our property, there's no agreement that the town is liable to fix this. So I'm not going to fix anything on public property unless I have some kind of agreement or. Something to say that we should be fixing it.
so. This pathway is not accessible at all. The other side is fully accessible all the way to all the way to the parking lot.
This side has steps,
Yeah.
2 steps,
Down and then a walk and then 3 steps up on the other side.
yeah.
And that's why I was just wondering if we were going to do this, and we we're going to go into an agreement on one of these. I think we should be looking at the other side where it's an accessible sidewalk already. And then if we want to close this side off, we close that side off. Because most people weren't using that side, they were using the other side. And I know that I guess the assumption was that there was always a town right away through there, but I guess not.
Which side?
that would be
The Artelli side that they were asking
the,
for,
the other side.
or the other side?
I guess
Okay.
I guess the discussion was both, because the town had stairs, the stairs going down were always towns, they were always maintaining that pathway. And in the winter, it was open at the same time.
Yeah, so that's my point. We shouldn't be maintaining some private property without an agreement in place. Like, why are we shoveling this walkway
Yeah, but
and there's nothing,
I guess my concern would be in winter. We wouldn't be able to, we're not using that one, it would be closed.
it would be closed, yeah.
So if we don't have any right of way through there, we should be approaching both property owners, see if we can arrange something on both sides. I mean, this is only good for,
Currently, so are you saying that Public Works plow or shovel the walkway now?
No,
It's
not in
closed
the
in the
winter
winter.
time.
they used to,
So
They
they
used
used
to.
to,
but when they
Okay.
put the metal roof on there, you can't have people going through there because of sliding snow off the roof,
Yeah, for sure.
right? So they actually put a gate up on one side. And they put a no pass on the steps, so nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, and I
going through.
think that there's even a note about snow, like dangers, snow or ice could come off the
Yeah.
roof.
currently that's there, yeah.
So this would just be seasonal. And you're right, it isn't accessible for wheelchair.
So in the RFD, I think we say that that would have to be addressed at a later
Yeah.
point. And it would be a costly expense to make it accessible because it's 1-to-1 ratio for an accessible.
Yeah, so,
I like the idea of offering it, getting this one settled, and I'm not against approaching any other property owners.
No, that's sort of what I was thinking. It'd be great to have access for both to have an agreement, but I'm fine for the seasonal pathway for this area, and then, yeah, approaching, or maybe even the owners of that property will approach us to set up some sort of agreement. I don't know. These guys did approach us, or we wouldn't even be talking about it. I don't know. And later on, making it accessible, that's not a bad thing, for sure. But it doesn't have to be done this year. It doesn't have to be done right away. So my only question is, if we do go into this agreement, will that gate stay open all season? On
So
St.
it doesn't have to stay open, it's just going to
Okay.
be, yeah,
well, it has to stay open during the season that we're open, because it's not, you want to, it's not a bear. If you saw a gate, you wouldn't go through it.
Unless there was some sort of, I think just having it open would be nice. I think basically in the summer, most of the times, I notice it's opened anyway, but,
and that's where you get into, it's not our gate, right?
right, right.
It's not on our property, we're just
It's just
getting
access.
access through, yeah. Now, they're saying that we have installed it, so we will have to bear the responsibility to fix it
The steps.
and the railing.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and recommend to council to enter into an agreement with the owner of 228 St. George to provide a seasonal public pathway from the parking lot PID 05003298 to St. George Street.
And I'll second.
Further discussion? There's no cost for what we're doing here right now, other than we have to fix steps.
The rail there, yeah.
We have to, yeah, and then we'll have to, we can file the agreement on the property so that whoever owns the building, the agreement would go with it.
Well, it's that we'll have an option for access to the parking area.
Yeah.
Question on the motion?
Question?
All those in favor?
I,
Okay. So moving on, the municipal planning strategy, you were saying was a meeting date? We were looking to,
Yes, so, I think you have a draft motion for that as well. Under the new minimum standards from the provincial government. We have to amend our MPS and LUB, and you'll see the correspondence there under correspondence one from the municipal affairs. They have given us an extension to do this. So this will set the first public meeting. There will be 2 public meetings. The first public meeting of June 6th at PHAC.
so I'll move to recommend to council to set the public meeting for the municipal planning strategy amendment regarding the new provincial minimum planning requirements on June 6th at 9:00 a.m.
I'll second.
perfect. Further discussion? Question on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yes, motion is passed. And ratification of electric vote for the water pumps. Do you have the motions, Dolly?
I don't have it.
Okay, so. I'll
Okay.
have somebody else read.
Okay, that
If you
council,
have it.
I will move the council pre-approve the purchase of 2 3-horsepower pumps and fix the leaking units to a maximum of 15,000 from the 2023-2024 water capital budget. And missing, of course, is a description of where the pumps go. So we do have to add something to the motion
And they're at the water tower.
at the water tower, which is in McKeel, as we all know. Over to you.
I'll second.
Okay, discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion? All of those in favor? Aye. Motion is passed. I get the recommendations, right?
No, that was a
That's a
ratification, so
ratification.
that's, yeah.
So. I have nothing more than new and unfinished business. We're going into correspondence. Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing letter are the minimum plan requirements at 3.
And that's just the letter from the minister giving us the extension until July 31st, 2023.
So that's just for our own information.
Yep. So that's why we had to get the dates started and rolling through.
Okay, roundtable.
Okay, I'll
Right.
just bring up my report. Sorry, I thought I had it up, but then okay. Technology is wonderful when you're used to it. Okay. So most of my time lately has been involved with the tidal power project and sea level rise. So those seem to be the 2 that are taking up most of the time right now. So when it comes to the tidal power plant, we explained where we are with that today, not the tidal power plant, I'm sorry, with the tidal power project, not the plant. So we went over that, so I won't bore you with the details, but we are pursuing 3 grant applications for that. And I'll be assisting staff with those for whatever I can help with. The biggest thing, of course, is the sea level rise report. And we have a meeting with the CIO and I on Monday with Matt Delorme of the Atlantic Infrastructure Management Network. And we'll be following up on the coastal report. So there were lots of things that needed to change, so we'll have an update after that meeting. For the sea level rise, for the seawall, we've also staff have started looking into potential sources of funding for that. And there are two major sources. One is the Adaptation and Mitigation Fund, the federal one, which we have a foot in already. But Matt DeLorme did mention other bigger funding that is coming out, so we'll have more news on that as of Monday. So basically, we're looking for money for the tidal pilot project, hoping that that will provide money for the sea level rise report. So those two working together. We did have a successful meeting with fire services yesterday, CIO and I, just, in final negotiations, so we'll have more to report for the council meeting, which is coming up. Twinning committee has been working extremely hard, thanks to staff for helping us send out multiple invitations in English and French with different events for a very charged weekend. So there are 3 major events that required invitations. It was the wine and cheese at the habitation. There's the official dinner on the Saturday night of after their arrival. So on the Saturday night and Sunday, of course, the unveiling of the plaque, all of which required invitations. More invitations need to go out for the sponsors, but I did tell Christine that I would be happy to assist with that, staff have their hands full and did a great job issuing the main invitations. We can handle, between us, we'll be able to handle the sponsor invitations. So that's basically my report. I sent a copy out to Krista. So Krista, if there's any questions, that's fine. If not, that's it. That's my report.
And this one?
Oh, yes, and I neglected to say on Saturday, I will be attending the proclamation for King Charles III, which will be happening here on the town steps at 11 o'clock. It's not a large ceremony, but Christine did a lovely poster, town crier poster, and she has a copy of the proclamation. And I'll be there with the chain of office, which somebody was good enough to get her to say for me. Thank you, Sandy.
Excellent. Councillor Sanford, I'll do mine last.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I'm going to miss the event Saturday. I'm in New Brunswick, but I'm sure it'll be well attended and it'll be fun. We've been working really hard with Natal Day, so we're gearing up for some new activities for the weekend. We're looking for volunteers. We'll be sending out requests to put an ad in our booklet in the next week or so. So any business that's interested, that's our big fundraiser. So we're hoping that people will step up and be a part of that. And always, yeah, more volunteers for sure. But yeah, we've got a good team this year and I think it's going to be a great weekend. That's about it. There you go.
I will also not be there on Saturday. I'll be in Antigonish for my daughter's graduation from nursing. It would be Liz on the Sunday, so we're traveling up on the Saturday. Only thing I have on my roundtable is when we had our the medic meeting, the meet and greet at the hub. It was pointed out to me at that time the Wayne Boucher painting was the chairs and stuff rub up against it. And it might be suggested that we might take a look at doing some sort of barrier system up there around it. Maybe a plexiglass on the lower portion so people aren't bumping into it. That came out just after the meeting, general conversation. Other than that, I don't have anything else on my roundtable.
I had a question for Councillor Sanford.
Yes.
Did the Natal Day Committee apply for any grants this year?
Yes, so we applied for the turbine, the wind turbine one, and we applied for Royal Bank, and they're giving us 1,500.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
With that being on hold-
oh, sorry, I was just going to say, that being said, we do have a little bit of money that we may be able to bump up the fireworks from what the town has set aside for fireworks, which would be nice.
There's federal programs too, though, where if it's an event is over a weekend
Mhm.
established,
I don't think those.
that's aren't around anymore.
Yeah,
Okay,
but they
I
could
do
always
remember
apply to
them.
the county.
Yeah.
The county has, their events and festivals, grants that could also be tapped into.
Oh,
The
okay.
twinning committee has been very successful, getting grants from the county, so Natal Day Committee, because that is a
I'll reach out to
community,
them.
event.
it definitely
So-
fits in the area.
Yeah. Just another option.
Okay.
Thank you. I will message the group. Perfect.
In camera now, so in camera, we have contract negotiations and approval of community whole in camera minutes of April the 12th, 2023. So I need a motion to go in.
And there's two other items, are there? I think.
Legal and
Legal
personnel.
and personnel.
Oh, sorry, yeah, on the backside.
Yeah.
Legal,
Yeah.
okay,
I'll move that we go into camera to discuss the things mentioned.
I'll second.
okay,
So since I don't think we were live, do you wanna just stop the
We're not
recording so that Ken, if he wants to post it, can post it without the.
Yeah, absolutely. I gave, you open YouTube, there's probably gonna be 25, 30, 13
10.
second video. It's not on our end. It's
Yeah.
on YouTube's end.
Well, then there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah,
yeah,
So yes, I will pause the recording.